I've been wanting to do this one for a while, but it just didn't seem appropriate for my main demographic, which is people that already train. But it got me thinking that there's going to be people out there that see calisthenics videos, gymnastics strength training, bodyweight strength training, and it appeals to them, but they're overweight or obese. And the question is, can they do bodyweight strength training, being overweight or obese? And the answer is yes, you can. Of course you can. And maybe you don't even consider that. Maybe you're just like, I'm going to try it. But the purpose of this video is if you are questioning whether you could do it, being overweight or obese, or if you are doing it, but haven't considered these things I'm going to lay out, it might help you in your training journey. I'm going to first unpack the reasons why bodyweight strength training might not be the best if you're overweight or obese. And we're just going to start with the fact that when it comes to bodyweight training, you're going to have the biggest advantage when you have the highest ratio of usefulness to unusefulness, meaning any excess weight that you carry, and this can include muscle as well, it's going to impede your progress with bodyweight training because you're moving more weight than is necessary to do. It would be like, say, someone who was just of average weight wanted to get in, they had rudimentary strength and they wanted to get into doing bodyweight strength training and they couldn't do a pull-up or dib. And we start them with a weight vest on or a weight belt on and put 10 extra kilos, which would be 20 extra pounds, onto that person and get them to start working towards a pull-up with that. It would be extremely counterintuitive to them making progress. So when you carry excess weight, there's three things that it's going to do when it comes to bodyweight strength training. It's going to make everything unnecessarily harder than it needs to be, because these things all kind of bleed into each other as well. It's going to make all your progress much slower than it should be because everything is harder. And it's going to, most importantly, the third one, increase your risk of injury. Now, this is a big one because when it comes to bodyweight training, or bodyweight strength training, all the terms, gymnastic strength training, calisthenics, not only are we building muscle and getting stronger, we're also, more than other types of training, developing strength in tendons and ligaments. And if we're say straight arm strength, huge part of bodyweight strength training. Say we're learning the iron cross, or we're even just learning a support position on top of the rings. That's stressing the tendons as well as the muscles. Imagine not having done that before, and now we're adding, let's just use it's just a good example. Use it someone of average weight and then putting extra weight on them when they can't already hold a support position, and we're trying to get them to find that position with that extra weight added to them. It's just extra unnecessary weight on tendons and muscles, and that's going to, of course, increase risk of injury. Now, I'm going to get to this soon, but there's ways to scale it down so that it's not, oh, this is so risky, like they're trying support position. There's ways to scale it so that you can control how much. To scale is to control intensity, so you can do that. But it's out there that you're unnecessarily carrying extra weight and you're doing movements that stress the muscles and the tendons, so it just, blanket statement, increases risk of injury, carrying extra weight. The second point as to why it's not the best for you is when we look at weight loss, generally the fitness industry attacks this from 2 points of view, or 2 training methodologies. The first one is steady state cardio. That's a plane. The first one is steady state cardio. So that is low intensity exercise for a prolonged period of time. Let's just say running or cycling or swimming for 60 minutes, say. That elevates the heart rate and sustains that elevated heart rate and assists in burning calories. It's a good thing to do. But the obvious drawbacks of steady state cardio is it's repetitive, it's not really building strength. I mean, you could make some arguments if you were doing cycling, swimming, but it's not really building any strength. It's not helping to increase bone density. It's not doing really anything more than just elevating the heart rate and sustaining that. So working the heart, pumping blood, burning more calories that way. What's become more popular when it comes to weight loss is high intensity interval training or HIIT training. So that is shorter duration training. I use 60 minutes as an example for steady state cardio. Looking at HIIT training, it could be, say, 30 minutes of training, more varied exercises, and these exercises moving exercise to exercise in that shorter period of time, getting work, and it elevates the heart rate higher than what you would in steady state cardio, and then we bring it back down. And going into those higher heart rates, that higher intensity for our training has been shown to be more effective than steady state cardio. Plus there's variation within the training, so it's more likely to have adherence. And lastly, when it comes to that high intensity interval training, it is about getting the heart rate up, but the exercises we do are taken from a pool of exercises. It doesn't necessarily matter what those exercises are, just speaking generally, as long as they are functional, generally whole body types of training. And within those exercises, they generally will start to address facets of strength within your training, which steady state cardio doesn't do. So when you look at these two training methodologies, the steady state cardio or high intensity interval training, both are definitely still aimed at elevating the heart rate. And when you are looking at weight loss, that is good. That's a good thing. But when you look at my training, bodyweight strength training, or just when you look at strength training in general, there's not really a focus at all on elevating the heart rate. The focus is on fitting in intensity in a measured sense, adapting to that, and then increasing that for the next time. I won't completely go into it, but as typical strength, a bodyweight strength workout for me, let's just use an example of pull-ups. I might do 5 reps, 5 sets, within a break in between might be 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes. When I do that, by the end of it, my heart's not beating out of my chest. I've generally got, I don't even know if I go over my 100 beats per minute for my heart rate. It doesn't get the heart going. It gets the muscles working to make me stronger at pulling, to make me stronger at pull-ups, but it doesn't get the heart rate up. So if you were looking to lose weight through bodyweight strength training and you were doing things like 5x5, it's not going to be very conducive or the most effective thing to do to lead to weight loss. So those are the reasons why it's probably not the best thing for you to do if weight loss is a goal. The reasons why it would be a good thing to do bodyweight strength training is, let's just start with the basic. If bodyweight strength training seems fun to you, if it looks like you would enjoy and it gets you out of bed, it gets you motivated, you have to do it. First and foremost, when it comes to physical training, you need to enjoy what you're doing. And that kind of trumps everything else, because what else is there in life if it's not enjoyment from physical training? The second thing is bodyweight training is extremely scalable, meaning that, like I said earlier, this is where I said I get to it, you can modify the intensity of pretty much any, I'd just say any bodyweight exercise. So let's say you're overweight or obese and you love the look of an iron cross. It'd be silly to just start trying iron crosses. It'd be silly for the average person to do it. It'd be silly for me to start doing it. I'd need to do specific training to build up to it. But the great thing about bodyweight training is we can scale the principles of what strength you need, what body development you need for an iron cross, all the way down to a level that is appropriate for someone that is just beginning their training. So there's a lot of ways to scale it so that you can do it in your training. It's extremely scalable, so there's no harm as long as you're educated and choosing the right exercises in incorporating it into your training. And if you combo that with it's what you enjoy to do, there's no harm done. It's just the possibility that if it's strength training is how you're incorporating your body weight training, it's not going to be the best for weight loss. You can also, because they're so scalable, that's where you can adapt body weight training into your HIIT training by choosing exercises that are taken from that pool and improve. Okay, I think I've spoken about it long enough. Any extra questions, guys, leave it in the comments down below. If you got something out of this video, leave a like, share it around if it helps. Like I said, the aim here was to just help you guys in your training journey to make the best choices you can for yourself. Subscribe if you haven't already, grinding to 30,000 subscribers, and I'll see you for the next video.